Hi. Hi. For those who've been watching, we've had a little gap in here for a while, but I'm still on the topic because it's a big, long one of intimacy with God. What? Is that possible? After all, He is God, and we're just humans that He created. Yeah, it's possible. And so, through this series of studies, we're going to learn more about that, how how intimacy is prevented by us because He desires the intimacy by us. And in each segment, I'm going to try to keep the segments like 15 to 20 minutes long, so they're not quite as long as they have been, and gives you more time to watch them because I know everybody has a quick life. Anyway, this segment is going to be on understanding the word gift, and all of this is going to be pertaining to God's love. His love is going to be popping in there all the time because we need to see it, we need to understand it more, and once we do, we'll be more relaxed at having that intimate relationship with God and seeing how open He is to it. So I'm going to start out with agape love, and which is God's love. It's called agape. And when I say agape love, it's like saying love twice. But it's agape is God's love. It's the purest form. Most people love us, and because we like say I love somebody because I like the way they look, you know, and so I develop a relationship with them, or I think they have a great intellect, so I develop a relationship, or some marriages and relationships are built on reciprocation, and all of that can be a part of love. But we have learned that love usually means that there is something to be given and to be taken. And this is how we grew up. This is society's view of love, and it's not in the purest form. Of course, God's is the only pure form of love. So God's love is not because He likes something about us, not because we can reciprocate and work for His love and then He wants something back. Not at all. He just wants to love us. But that's kind of hard for us to figure it out in our day, in this world, and the way most people are brought up in the different cultures. Most of the time, not always, but it's like, well, if you don't behave the way I want you to, or if you don't act the way I want you to, whether this is an adult or a child, then love can often be withdrawn from you. And that's kind of typical, you know. We can withdraw our love by being angry at someone. That's withdrawing your love, you know. That can maybe be for whatever amount of time you're mad at this other person. But that is a withdrawing of love. And so I never thought about that until right this minute. So we can do it for a minute, we can do it a long time, or in some families it's like eternally. and it's like the fact though that you know who you are, God knows who He is, so He doesn't need to withdraw His love, and He doesn't withdraw His love. His arms are always reaching out to us. It's us who put up walls, and we'll go into those walls later, which is, man, it's been such an interesting study for me. Okay, so God's love is always level, and in that way I mean, okay, if somebody's been a criminal, done horrific things all through their lives, and comes to God and says, Lord, I can't handle this. I've been a terrible person. You know, can you accept me? Can you accept me? Because I can't right now. And then on the other end, there's the person that has tried all their life to be really good and lived it just, as best as they possibly could, and they still don't know God. And so they need to come to Him too. Now, say both these groups of people have come to know Him. And, some people will think, well, okay, if you've done this sin, that's unforgivable. God may take you into the family, but you've killed somebody. So you're just going to be kind of on the lower level of his life, and then a lower rung of the ladder. And then somebody else who's really worked hard all their lives and everything continues to work for God to love them. God's not going to love them any more or any less than this other person. Just like the other person, He is not going to love less. So when we come to Him, His love is level. And the reason it's level is because He sees each one of us through His Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for us. Jesus is kind of like our attorney, and He filters everything. He filters everything, so God doesn't have to see our sin anymore. Jesus has paid for it. And God sees us as His children that He loves. Jesus is like the second Adam. At one time, Adam was pure. And Adam had never sinned. And Jesus is the same. He's pure. He had never sinned. And He sacrificed His life in order to bring the earth back into that, I don't know how to exactly put it, back into that same realm. It's not that way right now. We all know that. But it will be at the appointed time. And we all wait for that appointed time. All right. So one thing I wanted to talk to you about gifts and God's gift. When I was much younger, I had a grandma who I love very much. She's passed on now. But I look back and I see all the wonderful training and things that she'd given me in her life that, of course, at the time I was not appreciative of. It was like, oh, gosh, why do I have to learn this? But now I thank her for it. And anyway, she used to give me these beautiful gifts, just gorgeous. And my family really wasn't that way. They were, my parents were kind of, not trying to put them down or anything, but this was them. They were self-absorbed, which is the way many parents are nowadays. And my parents were, I was probably pretty self-absorbed too, in my life as I look back. But anyway, so I didn't get fantastic gifts from most of my family, but my grandmother made sure that I got unbelievable gifts. I started to see, though, that these gifts had strings attached to them. And finally, one day, she gave me this beautiful gift, and it was at a family gathering. And so I didn't want to open it. And I could feel the strings that were attached to it. So I told her, I said, well, I'll open it in a minute. I said, I'm not feeling real well right now. I'm going to go outside and walk a little bit, get some fresh air. And so that's what I did. I went outside and I walked around the block, and a few blocks probably, and I said, Lord, I don't know why I don't want to open that gift. So we talked about it a bit, and I thought, oh yeah, I do. I feel like she wants something back from me if I accept that gift. And it's not another gift, that I bought at the store. There's something here that she wants to pull out of me. She wants to own me in a way. And so I thought, no, I can't open that gift. And the Lord was kind of saying, well, you can. Because a gift is free. A gift is given as appreciation of who you are and love. And if your grandmother doesn't feel that way, if your grandmother wants something from you, you can still receive that gift. But you receive that gift with the attitude that she is, that you are not accepting the strings that are attached. In that, I learned something. In that, my grandmother learned something. Because when I accepted the gift and I opened it up, that's exactly my attitude. That's exactly the way it was. And that was really awesome because I could see right away that my grandmother saw that my attitude had changed and that there were no strings that she could hold on me. I still loved her, but she couldn't hold me by tying me up with strings or things that I owed her. Now, it's like God gave us a gift in His Son and in the forgiveness of our sins. And there are no strings attached to that gift. None. And it's hard for us to realize that. So He's not trying to say to us, okay, if you believe in me and if you come to me, that you owe me. And I want you to do this and stop that and all these other things. And you know what? Your life is not going to be changing because you are a slave. Your life is going to be changing because you're going to begin to know what true love is about. And you're going to find yourself. You're going to know who you are. You're going to have confidence. You're going to be able to rest in God. And as He loves us, we will begin to learn what real love is. And we are going to love Him back. It's in that love, not rules, but it is in that love that our lives will change. And yeah, we'll drop some things that we used to do. But God's not looking at us like, well, you better get rid of that habit or that attitude or whatever. We'll drop them and we'll gain something more beautiful. And it won't be an effort. It won't be on our part and our work, because His Son has already done that work on the cross for us. It's free. All we have to do is say yes. That's it. Yes, we want that. And that's it. And then open the gift. And so that's kind of what we're going to be doing in these different segments, is learning how to open the gift and not be afraid of it. There are no strings attached. None. And we don't have to work for it. And we don't have to give up things. God is not demanding anything of us. All He wants is love. And like I said, He's out there. He's got His hands reached out to us. He is loving us already. All we have to do is accept it. Open up that beautiful gift. I see this big box, my grandmother used to just, when she wrapped gifts, you didn't want to open them for one reason, strings attached. She wanted something from you, but they were so beautifully made, they were so beautifully done that she didn't want to open them. And God says, yes, this is beautifully done. His Son died on the cross for us. That wasn't beautiful, but His love for us is beautiful. And part of His love for us and His Son's love for us is what He did for us. So now we just need to learn how to open that package, see what's inside. It's awesome. A little bit of time, we'll see what is in there. It's not going to be just, one big kapowie, It's going to be, we'll be seeing a bit at a time, and it'll be opening more to us and more to us and more to us. So with that, I'm keeping this one at 15 minutes, And I'm going to stop. And if anybody wants to jump in and get to know God and His Son, just ask Him. Just say, Lord, I'd like to try this. I'd like to try walking with you. You don't have to do any big thing. You don't have to go into a church and do it. You don't have to say a certain prayer to do it or certain magic words. None of that. And if you want and you have a Bible, open up to John 3:16. And you'll get a lot out of that, especially if you're just coming in, just opening this gift. Bye-bye. Talk to you all in the next segment.